Okay, so let's jump right in. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today is how to create a lead magnet in Canva. What I want to also add to that is that this is not a how to use Canva video. This is a how to create a lead magnet so that you can build your list, or how to create some type of downloadable PDF. It could be to build your list. It could be for a group or course that you have, or for whatever reason that you're going to be using it. If you do not know how to use Canva, or if you're not familiar with Canva, you want to go to YouTube, to my YouTube channel, and you want to watch Canva 1.0 video or Canva 2.0 video. I have both of the videos up on my YouTube channel, so you can watch either one of those videos. Will teach you how to use Canva. I am currently working in the Canva 2.0 version. Okay, so those of you that are in 1.0, this may look a little different for you. I'm in 2.0 while I'm creating this, okay? So before we jump in and we start creating, I wanna share the different types of lead magnets that you can create, okay? So the very first type of lead magnet that you can create, start at the beginning, is more of a resource type lead magnet. This one that we're going to be looking at right now is 53 of the best email subject lines of 2018. This is a resource that I created because I just, I'm fascinated with email marketing and just online marketing, period. But there was a time when I had trouble with people opening my emails. And it kind of clicked for me because I realized that I'm like an email subject snob, right? I don't let people just send me stuff in my email. If I didn't sign up for it, I don't want to receive it. And if I sign up for it, and if it's not what you told me that it was going to be, I unsubscribe. And so I'm an email snob, like when it comes to like my email box, because who wants all that junk email in there? So with that being said, I noticed that if I was doing that and I was like snobbing and shunning people, that other people like that are receiving my emails are doing the same exact thing. So it was kind of like a thing that clicked for me. So I decided that I was going to go back through all the emails that were really good that I opened, and I wanted to see like what made me open them. And it's always the email subject line. If the email subject line does not catch my attention, I'm not going to open it. 9 times out of 10, it will go unopened until my VA goes in and cleans out my box and it is deleted. Or, I just delete it myself if I just think it's nonsense or something. So once that clicked for me, I said, you know what? I'm going to compile a list of these things. And that's what I did. So I compiled a list of the best email subject lines. Those are the ones that I pretty much opened myself and read, and I thought that they were really good. And I started collecting those. And then I started using those in my own emails, and my email open rate increased. So I know that these 53 email subject line have power, not only with my emails, but I also use it with my clients' emails. So as you can see, this is the cover page. You always want to have a cover page on your lead magnet, even if it's just one page. You always want to have a cover page, and you want to have a bio page in the back. So if you only have one page, you're really going to have 3, because you're going to have your cover page, the content that you're offering, and then the bio page. And I'm going to walk you through that now. The very next page that I have here is more, it's like an introduction page. So before I get into giving them what they signed up for, I'm saying hello. I'm thanking them for downloading it. I am telling them a little bit about like what my experience was with email marketing and why it's so important to make sure that their subject lines, are good. It's pretty much, I'm just telling them like why it's important for them to want to have the best email subject lines, right? And then explaining a little bit with the percentages and some facts here on this second page. You don't have to have this introduction page if you don't want to. It does add a little touch. It does allow people to kind of get to know you a little bit more. It adds a little bit of flavor. So when they do start receiving your emails, it's kind of like, okay, they're kind of getting to know, like, and trust you. All right, so then we jump right into the content, and this is the 53 email subject lines. And so these are all the email subject lines that really caught my eye, whether it was for people that sent me emails or email subject lines that my clients came up with that I thought were really clever. And so I just compiled a list of those. At the end of the content, here is an about Lakisha Sarbah. This is my really short bio, just telling a little bit about me, what it is that I do, and where they can find me on social media. The thing that is missing from this page is like something paid, or to take them into a paid course. Now, it is my belief that whenever you are creating a lead magnet of some type, that you want to have it connected to a paid program or a paid course or something that is paid. Initially, when they are signing up for the free downloadable or the lead magnet, it's free. So you're giving them and you're providing them with that instant value for free. They're going to want more after that instant value. After you fix one of their problems, no matter how small, they're going to be like, yes, this is probably the person that can help me. They're going to want more. They're going to open up your emails. Those emails should then lead them into a bigger course that can help their bigger overall problem. This lead magnet can land anywhere in anyone's hands. You want it to be able to have a link that takes them back to the course or whatever it is that you're offering, even if it's to a waiting page or something like that. I didn't typically do this here, because what I did was I was actually cleaning out my folder, and I came across these. I had gotten so good with, writing my emails over the last year that I didn't really need to go back to this little reference guide as much as I did the prior year. And so I completely forgot I had it. And I said, I bet if I needed this, other people need it too. And so I just posted on my Facebook page, hey, would you be interested in, email subject lines? And so many people said yes. And I said, let me just quickly come in here and create this. And then I just shared it with those people, shared it with them. I didn't really have an offer or anything to offer here. Okay. And that's okay. If you want to kind of do something like this, you can, but for the most part, you want to make sure that your lead magnets, that they are, that they go to something paid down the line. Okay. So that's just one example. This is more like, again, a resource, because it's just providing a list of the email subject lines. The very next one goes with a course. Riches in the Niches is a defining your own niche, your own small business niche. It's a little course that I do, and I've actually created this course, and it was done in combination with another coach online, her program. And she doesn't really teach the niching part of the business. She teaches something different, and she just wanted me to come in and teach a piece of that course within her program. And so this was my contribution to her program, was this Riches in the Niches. And I also offer this as a paid course that anybody can buy if they're interested in doing so. So again, we have our cover. Under our cover, you'll notice that I have my copyright information here. I didn't have my copyright information in the other one because those were emails, titles, and things like that didn't really belong to me per se. There was a couple of that I added, for my stuff, but it was more so emails that I received from other people that I liked and I kept and cataloged. And then some emails, ideas that I got from clients that I kept and cataloged. And so it just compiled a list of 53 email subject lines that, again, I don't own most of them. So I wasn't trying to copyright anything there. But anything that I create and I make and I own, like my content that I come up with, then yes, I am copywriting that. And I put my copyright infringement, my statement, my copywriting statement there. And, and all, the whole thing, all rights reserved type mumbo jumbo. And, and so that is on my cover. So people know automatically before you even get into this companion workbook, everything here is copywritten based on my name. Okay. And so then when we get in, it tells the title what it is, and then we go in a little bit about what niching is, right? And so I go in to explain like why niching is important. Again, I'm talking to whoever downloaded this as to why it's important for them to do whatever it is that this, like this downloadable says. Right? And then it goes directly into more of a workbook format. Again, this went along with a course with me teaching over audio, and then them going in and filling in the actual pages in this workbook. And that's all this is. It's just, information, some content, and then for the most part, them filling out the workbook so they can figure out their niche and how they want to narrow their niche down. And then at the end, I have my about page, which is my bio again, and it tells, a lot about me here so people can know exactly who I am. All right. So then moving on to the next and last example. This is the ultimate list building guide. And this guide takes people through how to build their email list. Even if you're building your email list from scratch, it works. If you already have an email list and you're looking to get more subscribers or more qualified subscribers on your email list, then this also works perfect as well. And so in this book, in this guide, the very first page that you're going to see after the cover is a table of contents. And that's because this guide is more content heavy than anything else. It doesn't have, it's not a resource guide like the first one, and it's not a workbook like the second one. This is more content heavy. And so I want people to be able to know exactly where an area is if they ever need to come back and reference something that they read and they want to come back to it quickly, then they can find it here in the table of contents. I also have my copyright information here on this page instead of the cover page. Okay, and then it goes directly into the content here. And then with the content, it's spread out with images of examples of different things to break up the content. And something else that I did here that you probably see a lot in books, there was a lot of space here. I didn't have any content here to add or an image or anything. So I didn't want people to think that something was left out. Like I didn't complete this guide or what happened, did I just leave it like that? And so what I did here is I put that it's finished and this space was left blank intentionally to let people know that this is the end. And I put conclusion there as well so people knew that this was the end of the actual workbook, especially with having so much space at the bottom. I didn't want to add my bio to the bottom because I like my bio to stand out on its own bio page, okay? So if you ever find yourself with a lot of space, no problem. Don't try to go and find more content. You can simply do something similar to what I did here to just let people know that it was left blank intentionally so they're not thinking that some information was cut off or left off by mistake. And then here is my bio. And with this bio, you can see that I have a call to action here. With this guide, I also have a boot camp to go along with this guide to help people to really jumpstart their list building. And I'm telling them that if they want to join into the List Builders Boot Camp, to click the button there. So that is a call to action. Okay. So those are the examples that I wanted to share with you just so that you could get a good idea as to what it is that you can create in here. And all of those things were created in Canva. You see that I brought them up in Canva. They were created in Canva by me. Okay. And remember, I'm not a graphic designer. I've just been using Canva for, maybe 4 or 5 years, but I'm no way near a graphic designer skilled or anything like that. I just took my time to kind of come in here and figure out how to learn how to do this stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and let's jump in. So we're going to need to pull up what we need for our design. And so we're going to need to have a document, right? And the document is pretty much a regular US document that's 8.5 inches and 11 by 11 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. Another thing that you want to have done before you come in here and start designing your lead magnet, you have to have your content done first, okay? Please make sure that you have your content done first. It doesn't have to be in this format. This format is something that I created some time ago, and it is content that was already formatted and already done. Your content doesn't have to be this formatted, okay? This is something that was coming out of a course that I did. And whenever I create any of my courses, whenever I create anything, I always create it in a Word document. That way, if I ever need to repurpose it or reuse it again, I do the same thing for my blog posts, because sometimes I can turn a blog post into a freebie downloadable or into a podcast or into a course, the same with anything else. So by having it in a document, I can always go back to it and use it for so many different things, okay? So make sure that you first create your content first. What it is that you're gonna be talking about, what it is that you're gonna have inside of that, inside of your lead magnet first, before you get to the design, okay? So even if you're watching this video and you haven't created your content yet, no sweat. Just don't jump into the design without creating your content first in a document type form. Okay. All right. So the first thing that I do when I come in is I like to make it bigger so that I can see my canvas more. I typically don't really use the templates on the side here. The only time I really use templates like on the side, when we use like the Canva templates, if I'm doing like a presentation, or maybe if I see like a nice social media graphic or something like that, or an infographic that I want to use and, you know, take and do. I find that there's a lot of stuff in here like menus and bios and resumes that don't really pertain to what it is that I'm doing. So I always like to create my documents in Scratch. Okay, so from scratch. So I'm just going to close this out and show you how I start that. So the very first page is always my cover page. So for my cover page, what I typically do is I don't design my cover page right off. I just copy and paste, you know, get the title, and the title may be different, right? But this document is what I'm working with right now. And then I go in to the text, grab the text that I want, position it, and just do a copy and paste thing there, right? So this is going to be my header. I mean, this is going to be the very first page, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and start a different page. I'm going to come back and I'm going to design this later, but I don't want to take up too much time to do that. Right, and so the very next page that I'm going to do is very the same. Like a lot of things I do the same because I like for the look and feel of my documents to be similar. So one thing that I do with my documents is I create a box that I put my stuff in. And so I like to make it so that it's a thin box, and then I use my brand colors. And I start at the top and then just bring this bad boy down. Okay, and then I just like it to be even and centered. Okay, so once I have my box here, the next thing that I'll do is I'll want to have another title on this page. And I'm going to change the font into my font. Okay. And all right. So once I have that, then the next thing I'm going to do is come in with another box. And let's see, first, let me see. So how many pages are we working with here? So we have 6 pages. It's not content heavy. So I'm not going to put a subject line. It's okay. Because what I'll probably do is break it up with some images too, if I can. But I'm not going to put I'll see, like after I put the content in there, because this Word document is a lot larger, the space, than it is in Canva. And so I may need to put a table of contents, but if I do, then I can always go back and do that later. And then I'm going to come in and then just position this. I'm going to change the size to 12, and then I'm going to change it so that it's positioned more to the left. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my information that I have here. Copy and paste. You see how simple that is? That's why this is why I stress so much to make sure that you create your content first on a Word document, get all of that flushed out, edit it, have it edited for you if you don't edit your stuff. I don't edit my stuff. I typically try to have my husband edit it, or a VA or somebody else edit it, because I'm really bad at grammar and some other stuff. That's just not my strength. So I have them go in and edit, and they even still sometimes when they edit it, I'll go back and think about stuff and add it and then send it out and totally forget that I didn't have them edited again. So you may get some stuff with some typos in it. Just know that it's coming from a good place, guys. It's coming from a good place. All right. And so what I'll probably do here is add some bold here to break it up. And again, my lead magnets that I create are pretty simple. They're pretty simple and straightforward because I want to add as much value as possible. I'm not really trying to, do a whole lot of, my stuff is not like look like professionals because I'm not a professional. So it's not going to look like a professional did it. I just take my time and, and do the best that I can. As long as it looks clean and it's legible and people can read it and it's, easy to read and it's functional, then I'm good with that. Like, I don't need a lot of the other stuff. I don't need a lot of the other stuff that goes on. So what I'm seeing here is that it says types of freebie offers, and then these are a lot smaller, these headers here. So this is like a header, a big header, and then it goes into a small header. So I'm going to have to do something about that. I'm going to have to figure a way to kind of separate this because these all go together, the types of freebie opt-ins. And so I'm going to have to figure out a way to shift this. So what I'll do is do something like this so that it's all on the same line, and then take this bold out. And then what I'll probably do is take this uppercase off. Downloadable PDF. Quiz. And what I'm doing is I'm just retyping the information because I want it to flow. I don't want people to get lost. Okay. All right. And then another thing that I could actually do as well, take this bold, is I'm going to remove this from here. And I'm going to copy this same text, and I'm just going to do this. Take this bold out. And then I'm going to make it a little shorter so that I can just bring it out off to the right a little bit. Okay, so that it's kind of, so that people understand that, hey, this goes underneath here with these. Okay. Another thing that I could do is if I wanted to be fancy, and I know some of you probably want to be fancy, is I can do arrows. So again, this is just showing you different little things or, little techniques that you can use. I'm changing the size of this, and I'll change the color. Come on, where are you, arrow? Oh no. So what happens is the arrow is now behind the text. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to move this arrow down here. Can make it smaller. Okay, so we can do something like that. Right, and when we get our arrow the size that we want it, we can copy it and bring it down to the next one. Copy it again and bring it down. Like so. Okay. So that's something that you could do with your freebie if you wanted to add in some visual type stuff to it. You can also add a background if you wanted to. You can do see. Change that color. The gray is a little too dark. Okay. And then we can make this smaller here and position that to the back so that the arrow comes out. So you have something, you know, that looks like that if you wanted to. I mean, you know, you can play with different things. Okay. So you would play with it and then decide, you know, what it is. If you wanted it to really stand out, you can change the color to like red or whatever your colors are, right? Because it really brings attention to what it is that you want people, you know, it kind of brings it in and it brings attention to the types of freebie opt-ins. So then people can see the different types that are available there. Okay. So then what we're going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and copy this page, and I'm going to get rid of these little doodads. And I'm going to go back to my document, and I left off at video series, and looks like there's a few more. So I probably needed those little doodads. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of this. Oops. Let's undo that because that was the top one. I'm going to get rid of this one and then bring this one up. I'm going to copy this and bring these arrows down. And what do we have left here? So it's audio. Okay. And then of course I would change those, but for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that right now, right? But you can, you know, you would always want to go in and you want to make sure that it matches. So because we changed those to lowercase, and I would change these to lowercase, right? And then I would just copy what I have going on up here, like with this guy here, and just bring him down. Instead of creating a whole new one and bringing him down and trying to resize the whole thing, it's just better to copy and paste. Okay. And so you do that, you would create another one, and then we move on with our content to our next thing. And this next section is creating your irresistible freebie opt-in. Let's see, this one is pretty long. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and continue from here. Oh, well, actually, no, I can't because this is a shorter one. So I'm going to copy this one that I had before. And see, I'm just dragging it down to the new template. So much easier than getting a whole new text and then having to resize and reposition and all of that stuff. I'm gonna, let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that one there like that. And then get rid of that. Bold. That happens sometimes when you do the copy and paste, and then bold this back out. And then I'm going to see how much content I have left to bring over without going out of my window. Okay, so it looks like I'm going to be cut off some here. So I'm going to just delete this last paragraph and then leave that where it is like that. Okay. And this is so high. I don't like how close this is up here. You see how it doesn't really flow really well because there's not a space between the header. So what I'm going to have to pull this down some. Make sure it's centered. Okay. And then I'm going to pull this down too, so that everything has, has enough space. You don't want to have information crowded on top of each other, because that's not a really good flow for the material and for people to read it. Okay, so always leave enough space, because it's visually, you want to make sure that it's visually stimulating and it's easy for people to be able to take in the information that you're providing to them. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is do another copy again, right? So a lot of this stuff is just pretty much repetitive as you go through. And again, this is another copy and paste. I'm going to get rid of this box here. So I'm already on my 4th page, as you can see. So if it goes any longer than 6, I may have to add a table of contents, just so that it makes it easier for people to find the information that they need. Okay, so that's enough space there in the header. This bold. Okay, and then come back. The last sentence was Fiverr.com. Okay, and then this goes into a 2-step email. See, so we're just copying and pasting here. Okay, that's the end of that. I'm going to need another page. Step landing page. Okay, and this one over. So I'm going to take this. What I'll do is I'll just go ahead and make a new page, and then delete everything above there, and then go back up and delete this one. Okay, so then I'll go back and grab some more content. You see how easy it is when you do this whole thing, when you do it like this? Instead of sitting in front of a Canva trying to figure out how to design and then how to write your content, what your content is going to be about. Oh my God, it's way too much. All right, so what's happening here is that I'm at the end, but I have that little bit. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of squeeze that up as much as I can. What I'll also probably do is, because this is really taking up a lot of space. I may do that like that, and then see, it's still cutting it off though, so it's not gonna help me any. So I'm gonna have to do the empty space thing. And I'm gonna just copy and I'm gonna delete from here up and then come back. These are also bullet points, right? So I'm going to have to go back and add the bullet points in. And the way that you do that, so if you have text that's a bullet point, I'm going to show you how to do that in this last one. This text doesn't have bullet point, but this one up here does. I'm going to copy the text, because what happens is if I try to do a bullet point on just these items, watch what happens. The entire text box is trying to bullet point, and I don't need all of that. So I'm going to just delete what's not bullet point. And then I'm going to have to take this one out too. And then bullet point the information that's in there like that. Bring that down some, because I'm going to have to add this header for other. And there we go with where we have that. I'm going to bring this down some. Okay. And then I'm going to get rid of this. And then bring this right up here to meet that, just like it was never removed from each other. So you see how that works? So if you ever have to do like a bullet point section, you always want to just have the area that's bullet point. Another thing that I want to point out as well is if you have, let's delete this, if you have a link that you want people to click on, then you want to make sure that that area has its own text, because if it doesn't, then if you try to put a link, like maybe several different links, and you can say, for instance, if you wanted to link the word social media and you wanted to link the word website, if you did that and you went here to link out to, let's see, my website, it's going to, whenever somebody clicks anywhere on here, it's going to be for this whole text box. So it's just not for the social media that we highlighted. It's for this entire text box. So you can see that that's unhighlighted. I can click anywhere in this text box and my link will still be there. So if you do not want, if you have a couple of different links that you want to share, on one page, then you have to make sure that you separate the text by doing what I just showed you when we did the bullet points, is just taking that text out. And then you can copy this text here and then just paste that text over. And then you can use another, like we can delete that and apply. And then this one up here will still have it, right? So this text box still has this one here, but if we click down to this text box, it does not, it's gone. So we can add a whole nother text area there, okay? So that's how that works. All right, so a last note, you also wanna make sure that you put which I didn't do in the beginning and I should have, because now I've, if this was a document that I was really creating, I'd have to go back and do a copy and paste on all of them. Make sure that with your very first page, when you're starting to create your content, that you put your information on that page below whatever area, whatever area you want, and just have your information down there. Because again, your information could land in hands of people who didn't sign up for your list, or don't even know that you exist. Maybe a friend shared it with them and said, hey, I know that you're struggling with building your email list, or I know you're struggling with finding clients, or you're struggling with, setting up your daycare center business. This will help you out. And if you put your information, brand your documents wherever they happen to land, or whoever happens to receive them will know, well, God, this person gave some really good information. Where could I find them? And also you can link to your website right here on that, from doing that same thing. Right? So that way, whenever you do your copy going down, all of that will be there. And if you could do the website, and then you could do the name of the document right there as well. Okay. But always remember to put your name. If you don't put anything else, make sure that you put your name there. Okay. And so let's see, where are we here? And then, because again, we're going to have some space because I don't have anything else to add here, I'm just going to do what I did in my other document. And the end, or I don't know. I don't remember exactly what I wrote, but I know it wasn't the end, but you get the point. The document, it ends here. The buck stops here. All right. And so, and what I also do is I make this a little lighter gray. And then I could, even put like this blank space was intentional, like I did for the other one, so that they know that this is not a mistake. There's no other content that needs to go here. And then for the next page, you want to have your bio. If you want your bio to match the rest of the other pages, then you would do a copy here. If not, then you would just go ahead and design your bio there. You want to make sure that you have a header for your name. With your bio, people need to know who you are. Okay, so your name, and then you also want to have an image of yourself. a nice photo. And when you do this, it's going to take up the whole thing, but don't panic. Don't panic, because you can always bring it down. It didn't take over the entire thing. Okay. And you can do that. And then you can add your text alongside your image. And change it to your text formats. And then you can copy this, and then of course bring this down here if you have more to add. Bring that down there. And that's pretty much how you can format it. You can put your photo anywhere you want. It doesn't have to be here. You can do a round photo. You can do color behind your photo. You can, you can bring in whatever elements that you want. You want to make sure that this is branded for you. For me, I'm very simple. I don't really do a lot. Sometimes I may do some really crazy paint splash or something like that, like behind my header or something like that. Or I may even choose to not use this square thing, this box around the entire I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to the bio. Yeah. So for this, like how it's here on these pages, I may copy this and then just steal it. I'm just gonna borrow you, not you, but you. Where are you? There you go. And then, oh my goodness, why do you keep coming? Okay, and then just bring this, and it just comes right down to the next page. Somewhere, it's here somewhere. Where are you? Okay. So it's bugging out. Copy and come on down. Oh, my goodness. All right, there we go. And so if I don't want to use it with everything, then I can bring it up here and just have it around my name. Or I can just take it and have it around my image. So you have to decide what works best for you, and then you just kind of design and play with it. Again, mine is very simple because I just don't care to spend days, in here creating all of these different things. And the best thing about this new Canva 2.0 is that once I create a template, like once I create this document, I can save this as a template so that I can then use the same template over and over and over again. And then if I just want to kind of change up a little bit of the template, then I can do that, right? So for the page header here, what I'm gonna do is just bring in an image. That's like the easiest to do. I'm gonna position it back some so I have my text in the front. And then I'm just gonna bring an image, bring a photo. You can do something like that. And then you can do the transparency. So she's kind of fades back in the background. One thing that I do not recommend, I don't recommend doing these images on every single page, because you have some people that may want to print this out. I have a lot of people that like to print out my stuff. And then I have people that just want to use it on the computer. So I have to make sure that I'm functional for everybody. If I have a workbook, I have to make sure that it is, when they print it out, it's not have all these colors and it's not draining their ink. So that's why I mainly use white or blacks and just maybe a splash of my brand colors in there. I also make sure that if I'm using a workbook that it is fillable. So I do the whole Adobe thing with that. And also with anything, even if it's just the content items, I make sure that I do not have a lot of image in the back, just in case people want to print it out. You don't want people to have to use up all their ink in order to do that. Right, so you could do something like that, or if you don't want it to be the whole picture, the whole thing, it doesn't have to be whole. You can just do half if you wanted to. You know, and then maybe you could do your brand color on the other half. Well, if we do that, we're going to have to bring her out more. And then we could always grab a square. One of my favorite little tricks, put it on top of her picture. And then we do the transparency on the square so that she just comes out a little bit. Right? So, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can really work to work with this. So it just depends on you and what you want to do and how you want to design it. I like to use different fonts in my designs. I don't like to stick with the same font, you know, through the whole entire document. So for my headers and different things like that, I like to use this type of font and then make it bigger. Okay, and then if I wanted to do my brand colors, I could, right? So you just have to really figure out and work, you know, in your space and what really feels good to you. And then I'll go back and take a look at it to see, you know, if I like it. You know, and then after you decide if you like it, you go back, you make your changes, and then you publish it, you download it, and it's ready to go. One thing that I wanted to show you before I left, if you like the template and you wanted to stick with what you created and you're using Canva 2.0 for work, you can go to publish and then you can scroll down to templates. And then I have a Canva, no, I have a documents folder, and then I can save it. Template freebie. I wanted to name it first. Oops. Publish, template, my documents folder, and publish. And so now it is published. And what that looks like is, let's refresh and I'll show you. If I go to my documents, here is my template. So it'll ask me, what do I want to do? Wait a minute. What's going on? Okay, there you are. And so this is my template. So when I click on it, it'll ask me, do I want to edit my template or do I want to use my template? I want to use my template. And then I go in to use my template and I just pretty much copy and paste over the information that's on there or make something different if I want to or need to. And that's it. So that is how you create a lead magnet PDF downloadable freebie opt-in of your own using Canva. I do hope that you found this information useful. If you did, please like this video and share it if you can, if it's on a platform that you can share it. Provide me any comments if there's a comment section below if you have any questions or suggestions even. If you are a Canva user, fanatic, or pro, and you can give me some tips, I'd love to learn more about those tips so I can share them with my audience as well. All right, well, thank you, guys, and I look forward to doing another video for you very soon. Ciao for now.